What's up, guys? It's Andy. She blinded me with refractors, and Michael Double X the Beast back here for another edition of Grown Men Talking Sports Cards. We're approximately 3 minutes late. Michael, would you like to explain to the viewers why we are 3 minutes late?
There was some slight technical difficulties. My computer decided it needed to do an update right before we got going, so I had to scramble around and get it done real fast.
See, I was thinking that maybe it was, being out in Midland, Texas. I thought maybe you guys were still on dial-up internet, and I thought maybe your wife was on the phone or something, so you had to get her on the phone or something.
No, it wasn't that. I actually have probably like 500 meg internet here, so that's not the problem. That's not the problem.
That's all good. That's all good. So, do you want to talk a little sports and some sports cards?
Well, that's why we got on here.
I think that's why everybody else is here. They probably don't want to hear us talk about your computer problems.
No.
So here in about 2 hours, we have the big Mark Sammy Sosa documentary from the 1998 home run chase. I'm sure that's going to bring back a lot of memories for people. And what do you remember most about that time?
Well, I actually just watched. There was an older, documentary about it, I think, at the time, and it's on YouTube. I can't remember exactly what it's called. I just literally just watched it probably a couple months ago and kind of brought back some of the memories about, the race between the two guys in general and how, they seem to have a friendly rivalry, if you will. I mean, they seem to be kind of leaning on each other, going through the pressure, even though they were not on the same team. And definitely being division rivals, getting to play each other so much was pretty cool to see, I think.
Yeah, and one of the things that it's kind of funny. Back then, during this time period, everybody was enjoying it. It was all fun. I think in the back of our heads, we kind of all knew that they were cheating during that time period, but nobody really said too much about it because it was so much fun. And
it wasn't against the rules. There was no rules against it.
Well, and now when you talk about either one of those guys, the first thing that comes to your mind is cheating, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm really intrigued. It's going to be 2 hours long, so I'm kind of intrigued to see, what they actually get into as far as all the steroids and stuff goes. So should be a fun time. Looks like we got quite a few people in here. Eric's here for the ladies, of course.
You're in the wrong place.
Good evening, Abel. Ron Fig. Third time around. We got Grant in here. Latrell Sprewell is the American Dream. All right. Let's see if there's.
I think I know who that is. I think I know who that person is.
And then Steve was the first. He was the first guy in the chat tonight. So how's it going, Steve? So we talked a little bit about that documentary, how we're looking forward to that. So let's get into one of the big things going on in the basketball card world right now with the National Treasures basketball. The first off the line boxes came out, I believe it was last week. And they did, their typical new thing, the Dutch auction. They started these boxes out at $30,000. And the bottom floor was $7,500. Apparently, they didn't all sell out at the $7,500, and I saw where some people paid as much as $18,000 for these boxes.
Right.
And the first Zion Williamson RPA numbered to 99, it just ended, and it sold for a little under $100,000. I think it was $99,000.
Yeah, 98, 99. Yeah.
So what is your reaction, first off, to the box prices, and then secondly, the singles as they come onto the market?
It's stupid. I've seen some, to put it in perspective, I've seen some group breaks where the spots are $500 per team or whatever it is. That's more than the boxes used to cost, the whole box, for a box, not for a case, but it's absurd, to see it. But the other side of it too is I want to see how many of these I want to see how many of these high end singles actually get paid for. I mean, you don't know how many of them are just getting bid up like crazy right now. But my first thoughts were with the RPAs for Zion. I thought they'd be between 40 and 50, not pushing 100. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy pricing, I would say. I I have a tough time because the RPAs for like Luca and guys like that, they're not. I mean, I think that like a Luca, I think I saw one sell, and this was one numbered to 20, and I think it sold for like 60,000. So you got Zion selling for that much more than
40 grand more.
And we were talking about this just briefly before we got on, but in this year's National Treasures, there are redemptions for blockchain cards. And for anyone not familiar with what a Panini blockchain card is, basically what that is you get a code on there and you now own a digital card.
Digital.
Which is odd to say the least, because like I was telling you, I mean, that's basically the same thing as like screenshotting a card off of eBay and just, showing it, being like, hey, look, I own this. I mean, you don't actually have anything. You own a picture of a card.
That's right. That's stupid.
And some of these cards, some of these digital cards sell for thousands of dollars. And it's like, I don't know if people are confused as far as, like they think it's
thinking
like,
there's going to be something shipped to them.
Yeah, you can get like a hard copy of it.
Yeah, you can't. It doesn't work that way.
It's actually just a picture of a card.
Correct.
So this is interesting here. Eric just said that the 99K Zion is already a didn't pay.
I saw a Facebook.
Not surprising.
I saw a Facebook post where the seller had taken a screenshot of a message he received from the buyer asking him to, essentially move on to the next person or try a second chance offer because he wasn't going to pay for it or something.
Yeah,
which is what I expect.
But I mean, if you and of course that price seems crazy, but at the same time, if people are paying that high for a box, it's not that far.
No,
the realm of possibility that one could bring that much. I mean, because at the end of the day, if you're paying that much for a box, you can't get any better than a Zion RPA, right?
No. I saw somebody today on Facebook pulled a John Morant RPA, and they had theirs at asking 50,000 or best offer. Said he bid by mistake. Yeah,
real bid by mistake. I mean, who hasn't done that, right?
I haven't.
Here we'll throw this in there for my guy Garrett Card Cutter, and I'm not sure if he misspelled or if he's trolling me, calling me Annie. I'm not sure, but will there be major?
I'm gonna start calling you Annie now.
What do you think? Will there be baseball?
I'm becoming less and less optimistic. I saw the reply from the Players Association yesterday saying there would not be any more negotiations, that they just needed to tell them when to report and where. And essentially, I take that as if the ones that don't want to show up and aren't going to play for the salary offered, they're just not going to show up. So I'm not very optimistic. I think at this point in time, baseball has absolutely shot themselves in the foot, and they should have already been playing weeks ago. Yeah, I'm with these guys. I'm starting to think no.
It's interesting. I guess I'll play devil's advocate here a little bit. I think there will be a season. I think that Rob Manfred will, invoke his power, which basically he has the ability to do that, where he can force a season. And I don't know. I mean, like it's going to be interesting to see how the players react to that. I tend to think that, I mean, right now we all know negotiations, everybody's trying to play hardball. I think at the end of the day, they will play, maybe somewhat reluctantly from the players' side, if that, if it comes from the commissioner. But I'm going to say that we do have somewhat of a season. Maybe it's 50 games, maybe it's 60, something somewhere in that area. But it's a good question, and definitely something that's on a lot of collectors' minds. So it looks
It
like
hurts.
Garrett was not trolling. He forgot okay. All right. Okay.
It certainly hurts the Mike Trouts and some of the older veteran guys. It doesn't hurt their value like it does some of these young guys that especially a lot of collectors have invested a lot of money in. For us to not get Ronald Acuna for a year, Juan Soto for a year, and then some of the guys coming up, that are on the verge of playing. If you're in the prospecting world right now, it really, really hurts your value of your cards a lot, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I guess were you kind of responding to Abel's question there?
I wasn't, but I saw it in the middle of talking, so essentially yes and no.
Okay, so yeah, that was basically.
But so that was one thing too. Yeah, Abel's right. He's talking about the rookie card issued cards, and what does this do to products like Topps Heritage High Number, which I always love. There's nobody going to get called up in time to have that product, and Topps Series 2, Topps Update. You've got all these products that really rely on players to get called up throughout the year, and you don't have that.
Yeah. Brandon's baseball cards, he's talking about what happens to the cost of junk wax stuff if there isn't any baseball. It'd be crazy if the current prices sustain themselves. Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting because it's one of those things where I could see it going either way with that stuff and even with the newer stuff. And we've kind of brushed on this in the past about how right now the prices for everything is soaring, and it's partly due to there being no sports. People just are craving their sports, right? But then also nobody struggles when nobody's playing. So all of these young guys, the Acuñas, the Sotos, it gives like more time to like hype them up in a way without any risk of them going out and underperforming. So I could see it going either way, but I mean I tend to agree with your line of thinking as far as these young guys. I mean, it's just a lost year for them, especially the minor league players. The prospects I would really be a little bit concerned about. But as we've seen in this crazy sports card market, anything could happen at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if the prices stay and even increase.
Specifically when he's talking about Brandon there's talking about the junk wax era. I think the older stuff, I don't think it really is affected by this. I think it's going to be these current players that are playing right now. I think for sure anybody 28 and under that's maybe in their prime that needs this season and to help them stay in superstar status or catapult themselves maybe as a potential Hall of Famer or whatever. It's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt the prices. At least I think so moving forward.
Yeah. And then Grant here is asking about the NBA. Players are getting scared to go into the bubble. Yeah, I saw that report yesterday where it seems like Kyrie Irving is he's one of the 6 vice presidents of the Players Association, and it seems like he's kind of like leading that charge, which is going to give people even more reason to dislike him if they need any more. Kyrie Irving's an interesting guy. Like, if you don't know a lot about Kyrie Irving, just kind of look into him a little bit. He has some interesting theories on a lot of subjects.
Yes, he does.
With the NBA, I'm pretty optimistic as far as the NBA. They're usually, kind of in touch with what's going on in the world, and I can see them making sure they get something done.
Yeah, I think just with all the all the racial tensions going on in the world right now, I think that's kind of making the NBA players back up a little bit too. And then some of them are scared to go into the bubble and stuff, which is, I get it. But I think at the end of the day, I think they'll get it done. I don't think I don't think theirs is necessarily money driven. I mean, it may be behind the scenes, but at least it's not at the forefront of things like it is with baseball. Baseball just should not have made it about money, and that's all it's been about the whole time. And it's going to hurt them.
Yeah, I would agree. Mike says that Topps will find a way to print an update set. They want the money. I'm not going to disagree with that, Mike, because I think definitely Topps and Panini have proven over the course of this, surge in the hobby, they will print anything that they can, and they will print as much of it as people will take. They definitely want the money.
Yeah, we'll probably get a record Jordan Alvarez and Gavin Lux amount of rookies this year. I mean, there's no telling how many they're going to print between every Topps product's going to have them this year, and that's about the only guys they've got. So it'll be crazy.
Yeah, for sure. So what topics do you have tonight you wanted to discuss a little bit?
Well, the main thing was the national treasures. So I wanted to talk about that, but then I also wanted to talk, and there was an article on some of you guys. I know Eric's seen it because he's on Blowout literally 23 out of 24 hours a day. But I saw in the baseball section a couple days ago. And keep in mind, this is one thread. This is one user that's posted this, but basically this one of the users on there, and I can't remember. I wish I should have wrote down his name, but I can't remember it. But essentially went and talked to an XL rep at a Target, and the XL rep told him, basically good luck getting any of the product that the district manager for Target makes the XL person sell to him. And this was in Las Vegas, I believe was where the poster had stayed. I don't know if you read it or not, Andy, or not.
I did. It was Las Vegas.
And so, it's kind of what some of us have suspected. It's the first time I think I've read anywhere where someone has claimed that they actually spoke to an XL rep and this is something that got stated or, anything like that. I mean, that's pretty important for all of us that go out and Vegas. And
he would know.
He would know. He says it right there. He's in Vegas. And, and it's very important that that stops, because a lot of people rely on retail now to go out, and it's the only way they can get stuff at any kind of value. And so reading that, I was pretty blown away to actually see somebody get to an XL rep tell them that, but it's what a lot of us have suspected for a while, and it is not shocking whatsoever to me.
No, it's not shocking. And that's pretty bad that a Target district manager is doing that, but there's definitely a lot of other people that, have connections or whatever that are definitely doing things like that across the country. I went out yesterday. I was a little bit bored, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go around and I'm going to go to a bunch of Targets and Walmarts and, just see if I run into anything, right? So I went to 4 Walmarts and 3 Targets. The only thing that I saw was I did see some Topps Heritage blasters, some Topps Heritage hangers, and then I saw like Prism Soccer and Prism NASCAR. Mm-hmm. That's basically all I've seen for the last couple of months. I mean, I've not seen any of these new basketball products at all. And it's odd because you do see a lot of the hobby shops that end up with a lot of this retail product, right?
Tons of it. Tons. Yeah, you're absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Wonder how that happens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that some of these people have connections, and I'm sure there's money under the table that, exchanges hands and whatnot. I did, when I was out at one of the Targets. It was the one over on Northwest Expressway here in Oklahoma City. You're familiar with it.
Yep.
And I walked in there, and even though there wasn't any like of the good product, I did see a gentleman. He was probably like in his 30s, and he was sitting there looking stuff up on his phone, looking at all the Magic cards and whatever. I could tell he's looking at prices. And there's tons of people out there right now that they know what's going on in the sports card market. they don't really know necessarily. They may not know what to buy, but they are actively on their phones. They're looking at what stuff it's selling for. They don't know anything about the product, but if they see something that they can, make a little bit of a profit on, they're buying it up. And, it is what it is. I guess at the end of the day, like, it's frustrating to us as collectors to know that stuff is going on. But at the end of the day, I mean, I was starting to think about it, and I had to do like a little self-reflection as far as, am I mad because these guys are buying it all, or am I mad because I'm not being able to buy it? You know what I mean?
It's both.
It is. It is. It's like, it's one of those things. If I'm there and I see it, I'm going to buy it. So
absolutely,
I guess people would be mad at me also. I don't know. I mean, it's
frustrating. It's frustrating that it never makes it to the shelf itself.
Sure, that part is frustrating.
That's probably the biggest thing. Yeah, I mean, first one to come along and see it that buys it. Hey, it's game. That's free trade, right? That's just the way it should work. But when a Target manager doesn't even let the rep basically get it on the shelf, he essentially buys it before it makes it there. That's a major problem for XL or whoever the distributor is. That's a major problem for the retail store too, because that's product that never made it to the shelf. That's a big. I think that's a bad problem. To me, it is, anyways. But
yeah, and I don't like that stuff. But as far as like, if it's actually on the shelf and somebody goes in there and buys it,
that's what I'm gonna do.
I mean, yeah, and like it's been mentioned many times before, some of these guys are not real collectors; they're just flippers. But at the end of the day, do those stores, do they care? Like, their money is just as good as mine or yours, right?
They don't care. Yeah, that part doesn't bother me as long as they're not doing the shady stuff. That's all that really matters. I mean, somebody walking in and buying everything that's there that just comes upon it and then turns around and takes it to a local hobby shop or puts it on eBay and makes some money on it. I mean, there's no stopping that, and that doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kind of to that point where it doesn't, that stuff. I mean, of course, I would like to get it myself, but I mean, I can't be mad at somebody else for beating me to it. I mean, They have just as much right to buy it as I do, regardless of what their intentions are, right?
Sure, no doubt about it.
So another thing, there was a big card show in Allen, Texas this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I think they had around 200 tables. I know Mike, baseball collector, he went on Friday, and I think Jeremy, IPTTM, he went with his son for 1 or 2 days. And it's interesting to kind of see a bigger show. This was like one of the first bigger shows that I've been aware of anyway. So what do you think about that, as far as like, them having a show like that?
Well, first off, I wish I'd have went. I started to go and I went back and forth with whether I wanted to drive over and go or not, and I didn't go. But it's it's good to see people getting back at it, but it's also bad because we're still seeing record numbers of COVID. So, still makes you nervous having them, and especially going somewhere like that where people are touching stuff and it's getting exchanged around, and that it makes me very nervous. So for personally, I would rather stay away, even though I do kind of regret not going. But the people who win, I saw a bunch of pictures on Instagram and Facebook. Looked like people had a good time, had fun there. And so I'm reading down below where nobody was wearing masks and things like that. And so that doesn't shock me one bit. I haven't seen much of anybody wearing masks the last couple of weeks anyways. It's getting less and less.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I saw where, Mike from Mikey Manel's here in Oklahoma City, they were set up there. And he recently, this was kind of fun. He recently opened up a case of 93 SP baseball.
Doesn't surprise me.
And so he pulled 17 Jeters out of the 18 boxes. He opened them all in front of Beckett, had Beckett grade them. He got, I think it was 3 9.5s. The lowest he got was an 8.5. He had one of the 9.5s that had 3 10 subgrades and then had a 9 on corners.
Oh.
Yeah, and then I don't know. He does have a true gem, but I don't know if that came out of this box or this case or one of the previous boxes that he had.
What are 9.5s up to now?
I don't really know on that particular.
Weren't they like around like 3,000, 4,000 there a while back ago or something? And I have no idea what they are now.
Oh, way more than that.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, I was thinking like PSA 9s. That's what they were for a while.
Yeah, they're probably more than that even. But like
I'm sure.
PSA 10 is probably over $100,000. But
oh yeah, the PSA 10 is, but 9.5s don't sell near in the same range, obviously.
Yeah, I think Beckett tends to grade those a little bit easier than PSA does.
Way easier.
But it was neat to see the footage of all those cards, and if you've met Mike before, and it's just fun to see somebody like that just has the stones to bust a case like that.
It does not shock me one bit.
Yeah, he just in his words, he loves to crack wax. That's what he always says.
Oh yeah, I mean, but you know what? If you're like that, I mean, I don't know what a case of those sell for now or anything, but I mean, just with what you're telling me that he got, I can't imagine that he did bad on the case.
I would say a case is probably 60,000 plus,
probably,
because I think single boxes are over 3,000.
Yeah, but I mean, but if the worst he did was an 8.5, I can't imagine he did bad.
I think 8.5s are about 600.
Yeah.
So, and then I don't know how many like chippers and Mannies and Griffies, some of the all stars. What do they have, like the all star die cuts in there?
All star die cuts, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was fun to see, for sure. Let's see if anybody's got anything here in the comments.
So I was looking here. So somebody was telling me I could wear gloves, and so RJ, yeah, I would have to. I've got an autoimmune disease, so I'm a nervous wreck about getting sick and everything, just because I've already got lung problems and everything due to that. So I try to just avoid any type of risk.
Yeah. What's up, Ed?
And then, I had one other topic that I wanted to talk about, of course, which was more of a. I'm gonna catch some flack on this one, of course. But that's okay.
Is this your rant?
This can be my rant, guys, and any of you guys that are on Instagram or Facebook a lot. There's one thing that just absolutely drives me crazy. I'm always telling Andy about this all the time. And some of you guys are going to laugh. Some guys are going to. When I say I'm going to catch some flack for it, I'm not really. I don't think too bad.
Just to set this up for you, I know that there's like one particular person that you gear this to, and I can promise you guys, this person's not in this. He's not on this chat, so don't worry.
I wish he was. I don't care if he was.
He's not talking about anybody in here. I can promise you.
So, guys, all of you guys have probably seen this. It's on social media, but do you have that one person or multiple people that just tend to post the same card over and over and over and over again, and they'll take it and put it in a picture with another card and just rearrange it, and it's just the same cards continuously, and it's like this need for attention. And it drives me absolutely up the wall. I cannot handle it. Every time I see it, I literally just want to go on and start commenting and asking them if they can get a new card to post. Maybe I can ship them one for free to post. Whatever it is, just anything so that it's something different. It absolutely drives me crazy.
Do you think that I mean, like this person in particular, like, do you think he's just looking for attention, or do you think he's trying to pump those cards, or what do you think it is that makes him do that? Because I know what you're talking about.
I think it's a little bit of both. I think I think it's an attention thing mainly. It's just this need for people to tell him how great his collection is. Like we don't already know you got badass stuff. Like we can't see that, by looking back at your older posts. It's Eric. It's every card this guy has, and it's not just one person. There's more than one. There's one specific I'm talking about, but like to me, there's a few rules to like posting these types of things. If you get another card of the same one and you want to show that now that I have two of them, but put in your comments, hey, I got a new edition in. It goes together good with this other one. Okay, I can live with that. I'll meet you in the middle. I can live with that. But when you just continuously post the same ones, it drives me nuts. Absolutely drives me crazy.
It wasn't Johnny Damon.
Wasn't a Johnny Damon. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed if it was. I would be opposed if it was. But it's now Grant's when we put this guy on blast. I'm not going to do that just for.
Nah.
I won't do it. But if you go on Instagram or Facebook or anything, you'll see it's not just one person. You'll see it with a bunch. There's one particular that we like to laugh about just because we see it all the time. That's
no, Eric, it's not.
No,
we'll tell you later, Eric.
I'll text you and tell you later. I'm just I was telling Andy, I was trying to think of a polite way of putting it, there's no polite way. It's just annoying. And that, like I said, that starvation for attention, it just drives me up the wall.
And I think that one of the reasons why, because like you said, there's a lot of people that do this, but I think one of the reasons why this particular person annoys you so much is because he has been a jerk to you in the past.
Yes.
A couple of times.
Yeah. When I was trying to sell my Grant Hill collection, this guy would reach out to me and offer me just, 10% of my asking price and then tell you how bad your copy of this particular card is to try to get it cheaper. I finally just had to tell him to kick rocks, but so now when I see him post, it irritates the crap out of me, Yeah. So Latrell Sprewell down here, he's got another one of my pet peeves on social media, and that's absolutely right. We'll go on. You'll see people. They'll put a picture of a card and they'll say for sale. PM me an offer. PM me for price. PM me for details. All I see on that is I'm asking way too much. I don't want to put it out there. That's all I ever see when somebody does that.
Absolutely, RJ.
Go ahead.
But yeah, that is like what he said here. That's a pet peeve of mine too, because a lot of times, and a lot of times those people that are doing that, they're not really that motivated to sell it. They're just looking for somebody to overpay. They're looking for somebody to make some kind of crazy offer, which it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty funny to see people that they have. Was that a cat that just went by?
Lila the cat.
Okay, I was like,
she has the walk in front of me all the time.
Yeah, I see that. So let me go ahead and I'll put this down here and see if anybody has any questions or something. Go ahead and post those. That's another good one, Eric. What's the matter?
I want to talk about one thing, and that I won't name any specifics, just because the person that this essentially happened to is over here in the chat. But you start talking about the rules to negotiating. I'm trying to think without spilling too much information. Basically, counter offers, and when you're talking to somebody about price and things, is one thing that drives me crazy is when somebody will say, "Hey, make me an offer," and you make them an offer. Let's say you offer them $1,000 for a card, whatever, and they say, "Well, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna hold on to this card, and I'll let you know if I decide to sell it." Well, then they come back to you a week later, month later, whatever, and they say, "Well, I want $3,000 for it." So they've essentially counter offered to you, right? So now essentially your offer's off the table. To me, my offer's done. Well, this happened to somebody over here in the comments, and then after a couple weeks, the seller comes back to this person and says, "Well, I'll take $1,500 now." After he turned down the $3,000, and essentially the other person lowered their first offer from $1,000 down to $800, which I thought was perfect.
Yeah.
And that it's hard to say it without giving out too much information. Basically, that's and the sellers sometimes will get mad when that happens, especially on social media, because they say, "Well, you already offered me 1,000." Well, you didn't take it. You countered. You countered. Now I'm countering again, and my offer just went down instead of up.
It's not an offer forever.
Nope.
That was the offer for now.
That's right.
So Rick here said, he's asking, what do you guys think of PSA and Beckett raising prices? I don't like it, but like everything else, I mean, I guess if people are going to keep paying it, I mean, that's what they're going to do. They're a business, especially with PSA being a publicly traded company. They're all about the bottom line. I mean, I don't like it any more than anybody else does, but
did I see correctly that PSA was raising by 40%? Is that what I saw?
Well, on the bulk submissions for the ultra modern cards, they raised the price by a couple of bucks a card because they said they had like just this overwhelming number of submissions coming in for that, particular area of cards. I haven't seen Beckett as far as their price. I don't even pay attention to Beckett, to be honest. Like, I mean, I haven't submitted to Beckett in years. The last time I submitted to them, they lost my cards for about a month or two, and that's I just haven't really submitted that. Let's see here. Do you prefer selling on eBay, Instagram, Facebook? What do you think, Michael?
I've sold on all. I would rather sell on social media just because of eBay and the buyers returning stuff or not paying. I mean, it is ridiculous. I sold some stuff. Let's see. Last Sunday, I had some stuff set. It was video games. It wasn't cards and stuff, but no different mentality. And I literally, out of my 12 auctions, I had 3 people hit me up the next day asking me to cancel because their son bid on it by accident. One person that had 1,500 feedback, so clearly knows how to bid on eBay, hit me up and said that she made a mistake, that her grandson doesn't need this particular game. Just stuff like that just drives you crazy. So dealing with somebody direct on social media is a lot easier, a lot better. And if somebody screws you over, you just you put them on blast. I mean, it's that simple too.
I agree. It's way easier. I mean, to do that, especially anyone that's dealt with these Project 2020 cards, they learned this lesson the hard way about the chargebacks because, some of these cards were going for 600, 700, 800, and then they just plummeted, right? So all of a sudden, the back of the case has a scratch on it. I'm returning it,
Yep.
All this stuff starts happening. And yeah, I'm a big fan of, selling stuff privately. In person is the best, obviously. Cash money, right?
Yeah. And I'll tell you guys this now that it's been a few months. I don't mind sharing this. I don't like doing it right off the bat because you get negative feedback or whatever. But I had a buyer on my Zion silver. I think I told you about this, Andy, probably. My silver prism Zion. This was back in, I don't know, February, March. It was right around the time the Corona stuff started. So it had been March.
Yeah.
And so this guy buys my card. Keep in mind, it was a BGS 9. It was graded. And this guy gets the card in and doesn't message me, nothing, just automatically goes in and files a item not described case on a graded card, BGS 9, says that I tried to basically falsely claim the condition of the card, that it wasn't as high graded as what it says on the case. And so I told him, I said, yeah, just ship it back. No big deal. I mean, whatever. So this guy essentially holds my card ransom, wanting partial refunds back. I mean, it was just back and forth, ridiculous amount of stuff. Finally, and this was also, eBay was closed at the time, so you could only deal with them through email. I mean, it was back and forth. I finally had just told him, I actually paid for the label and emailed it to him and just said, hey, ship it back, be done. Well, then he comes out with, he can't go to the post office because of the Corona stuff. So I'm going to have to wait, but he wanted his money back, and this thing drug on for 2 or 3 weeks. He would literally message me 5 times a day. And I mean, there's some of these people, once they get your card, they're going to make your life miserable. I finally ended up just discounting him I sent him like $50 and he was happy. He literally just wanted money back is what he wanted and wanted the card. There was nothing wrong with the card. Obviously, it's BGS graded card. You know what the condition is. There's people out there you've got to really watch out for.
He was essentially a scam artist, and you know, he kind of just got you in a bad spot there. And you know, sometimes you know you can fight the fight off of principle, and sometimes you're just like, I'm just ready to move on.
Yeah, that's how I was. I mean, it wasn't worth the time or headaches. And then once we got everything done, he essentially, what he told me was he blamed it on me because I used the global shipping program through eBay and he got charged import taxes. And so it's basically what he wanted was me to have to eat that import tax. That's what happened.
Yeah. I don't ship to anywhere outside the U.S. I just don't.
I don't either now.
I'm trying to skip. Okay, I'm going back to this because somebody had raised this point that Abel had asked this question. Any thoughts on the virtual national? Has anybody signed up? No, I have not signed up. I doubt if I do because I know who's putting it on, and I'm not a huge fan of that particular person. So I probably won't because I don't know this for a fact to be true, but I'm assuming that you have to sign up for some kind of BS on their channel or website or something to be able to go to it. And and this is not like a new idea. Like the guy that's putting this on kind of like making it sound like he came up with this idea, but they've been doing these virtual shows on Instagram for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you don't have to sign up for anything. You just, you know, people on Instagram, they'll go live, they'll show you what they have. If you want to buy it, you buy it.
The other problem, and the reason I probably won't do the virtual national is a lot of the people that are going to be doing it, they're the people that are posting on Instagram all the time. It'll be the same stuff that I see regularly. I go to the national because I want to see stuff that I don't see all the time. I also like to dig through and look. There's a lot of people that go to the shows that don't really use social media all the time and things. That's the people that I want to go and look through their cards. I don't want to look through the same stuff that I see on social media all the time. So it's
a good point there too.
Pretty simple for me. If I want to see that stuff, I'm just going to go on there and look at it now versus waiting.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to get through some more of these here.
Rated rookie showed up on there.
Hey, what's up, Josh? Let's see. This is a Project 2020 thing. It doesn't happen often or regular. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, Ed. I mean, definitely the Project 2020 thing, the volatility on those things has been just off the charts madness. And but there are a lot of there's a lot of new scammers, I would say, that have kind of trying to take advantage of the policies that eBay has. Like, they're not technically doing anything illegal, but they are definitely doing some things that I think most of us would consider immoral.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's like I saw somebody post. They may have already been back up higher now, but somebody posted, you know, that eBay's policies basically allow this to go on, and it does. It you know, when you can return stuff for such a long period of time, and just the way the whole entire dynamic is with eBay, there's nothing to stop people. People who don't have a high moral compass, they're absolutely going to buy stuff, and they have no risk. If the price drops, they send it back to you.
Yeah, it's free runner.
Yeah, there's no risk involved, and people are going to do that.
Okay, so this is interesting. So I'm not sure how to answer this exactly. I probably won't be using it myself, but I guess I don't know. Like, we both know one of the guys that's doing this. And I mean, even though I'm not going to use it myself, I mean, I wish them good luck with it. I don't, I don't really have too much to say on it.
It's to me, it's a, and then this, I have no problem saying this, it's a nice to have. Is it a need? I don't know. I don't know if it is. I don't, maybe, it's not something that I'll need to use for the stuff that I'm buying, but there's people out there that maybe they will. If they do, hey, more power to them, good luck. There's a lot of these things that come out like this that, I always look at like new inventions or apps or whatever as things that people need. Is it something they need? And to me, I don't know if it is. We'll see if it is or not. But for me, it's not something I need to enjoy collecting.
Yeah. Just from what little I know, I think it's probably geared more towards higher end stuff that I'm probably not going to be in the market for anyway. So as Mr. Wonderful would say, for that reason, I'm out. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's what people are talking about, Josh.
And I've had worth point accounts before, and for me, that's all I really need. If I'm in a mood to go through and really do a lot of historical price searching and looking at some of that stuff, I'll get a worth point account for a month or two. It's expensive. Was it $20 a month, whatever it is? And I'll go through and I will literally build spreadsheet after spreadsheet and look at historical prices on things that I may want to go buy over the next 6 months. I'll get my account for a couple months and then I'll cancel it. And I can do all that stuff myself, and I actually enjoy doing it. It's relaxing to go through and look up that stuff, and I don't need. That's what I'm saying. I really don't need an app to do that for me. I can do it with what I've got right now.
I think, and we've talked about this before. Like I've talked about this with you, and I've talked about this with other friends that have been in this hobby for a long time. And I think for a lot of us that have been doing this for a while, like the research and stuff like that, that's part of the fun, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Like I like that kind of stuff.
Latrell Sprewell down here, he mentions too, PWCC market, they've got their research, I've used it before too. You can definitely go on there and look stuff up very easily on there.
Let's see. There was another good question here. Oh yeah, Natsman. My guy Natsman 72 here. Best advice for a first-time card show attendee. I would say, first off, enjoy it, man. Have a good time. Like these card shows are a great place to meet a lot of people that you've interacted with here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. That's one of the most fun parts about it. And I guess everybody that goes to a card show is going to have their budget. So unless you just see something at one of the first tables that's like something that's super rare and you're not going to be able to find it anywhere else and you just have to have it, I would kind of look around at everything before I made any purchases. And you can do that relatively easy at these smaller shows. Now, if it's like something like the National, I kind of approach that a little bit differently, because if you see something that, if you see something that's not readily available at one of the first places you stop and you're going to want it, I would go ahead and pick it up, because it's probably not going to be there when you come back, because it's so massive there and you may not even remember where it was.
No doubt. So couple things that I always tell people when they're going to shows is talk to people, talk to dealers, tell them what you're looking for. You never know. They may know a buddy that's got something. They may have something back home that they didn't bring. You just never know. And then, for sure, take cash. Cash is king when you go to these shows. A lot of people, they want to do everything through PayPal and everything. Well, a lot of these dealers, they're not going to catch you as good a deal when it's being tracked through PayPal, just the way it is. Take cash, talk to people, ask questions, look around, like Andy said, look around a bunch, and really, really don't be afraid to dig in and hunt for stuff, because you never know what you might find. I mean, I've seen some crazy stuff get found at different shows and things. So just, main thing is have fun, talk to people. Straight to the point. I like it.
And I don't disagree with you, Ed. And I think I mean, I don't want to put words in Michael's mouth, but I think what he's referring to when he uses that data that they have available. I know for me personally, like when I look at that data that they have available, I'll kind of throw out their auctions because they most of the time they are shield and they're going to bring way more than any other ones. So I kind of throw those out and just kind of look at the other auctions that have sold using their.
It's just a tool to look at prices, but yeah, as far as sending my cards to them, absolutely not. my cards would not go there. No. So I agree with you. That's why I said straight to the point. I like it because I'm on the same page. I used to be a big supporter of PWCC, not sending them stuff, but bidding on tons of their auctions. I bought I don't even know. I probably bought 50 cards from them over the years. I haven't bought one from them in a year and a half probably now, just because once you realize some of the things they're up to, you're best off just staying away. The fanny pack rated rookie. That's right, to the show.
This is a good point here. Negotiate as a first timer. I mean, this is a good thing for any of us. You always want to negotiate. You never pay sticker price for anything. Or I don't. I mean, unless it's just something that's just like crazy underpriced. But then if I see something that's like that, I'm like, I always second guess myself. I'm like, why is it so cheap? What's wrong with it?
Yep. Or you know what? That's true. You do negotiate, but sometimes, you know what? If you find exactly what you're looking for, get it, because there's a lot of times you regret later on by not buying something. How many times have you regretted not getting something, because you didn't want to pay sticker price, and every day. Me too. Every day.
What's up, Josh? Josh just, if you guys don't follow Josh's channel, you should check it out. He just picked up a really sick 34 Gaudi Lou Gehrig in a PSA 3. It's a monster. It looks great.
I've heard of Lou Gehrig.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah. Cash, mask, and a fanny. Love it, Josh. What's up, Scott? Let's see. All the work blowout did, nothing happened. It makes me mad and sad at the same time. I mean, it's frustrating, Ed, because I think, and I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I know what's going to happen with all this, but I mean, I know that it's going to be a very slow process. I think with the FBI being involved and everything, you know how it is. Like the government, they're not very quick with anything. So I really don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's going to take a while, whatever it is. What do you think, Michael?
Well, I know one thing for certain. The market keeps going up the way it has. The more money is into it, guess what? There'll be more resources looking into the financial side of the business. So I would say early on they probably skirted by because there wasn't a lot of focus on it. But with all the money right now, you can bet that FBI, other agencies, there's more people watching it now. So I would say the likelihood of more people getting caught moving forward is very high.
Yeah, same here, Scott. I haven't won anything since before the last national from them either, and that's what you're talking about. It's what we were talking about as well. Just using their free sales history app. It's just I don't use that exclusively, but sometimes I'll look at it just to kind of see what some stuff has historically sold for. Not their auctions, but other auctions. Let's see. Appreciate it, man. That used to belong to my dad, so it's a prized possession for sure. Let's see.
I'll see where Ron Figg's asking where do we look up
here we go.
Local card show schedule. So Ron, what I do is here locally where I live in Midland, Texas, I look on Craigslist. There's actually a group in Lubbock that will post sometimes about shows. I look on Blowout has a section for card shows. I'll look on there sometimes, and those are probably the two best resources I have to look. And then a lot of times if I make right now during the Corona time, it's not a good time, but a lot of times if I'm making the rounds to card shops, they will have information about shows and things going on. Especially here in Texas where I'm at, I go to Midland, Lubbock, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, Houston. I go to, a lot of the bigger cities a lot, and we'll hit the shops there. And so it keeps me in the loop on a lot of the shows.
Does Beckett still put those in their magazines?
I haven't seen a Beckett magazine in so long. I don't even know.
I think they do.
They probably do. They may have
on
them on their website too. I'm not really sure.
Right. Yeah. That's where I always used to look for, because it would show you card shows and it'd break it down into each state, and all that stuff.
Yep.
What's up, Michael's card addiction? Yeah. So Abel says PSA and Beckett post info on their websites. Nice. Do we get any more baseball releases this year? Oh, I would guess so, Ed. I mean,
there'll be something.
I think it was Mike earlier that said that Topps will find a way to print update, and they'll find a way to do something because it's too much money, for them to miss out on.
Don't be surprised to see like Bowman Chrome this year, them going back and adding prospects that they've already done 20 times, adding some of those big names back in. It wouldn't shock me a bit to see them do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Luis Robert and, Joe Adele and some of these guys have more and more cards in there just because they didn't get a chance to put them in update or series 2.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yes, the card train never stops.
That's right.
If coronavirus is not a concern in 2021, how big do you expect the next Chicago National to be? Big. I would say really big. Yeah. And I mean, we're assuming that this current momentum that we have continues on into, the summertime next year. But if it does, yeah, I mean, it'll be crazy. I mean, they may have to limit the number of people they let in, honestly.
Well, just to put things in perspective, just think about it. If we're going to get a delayed NBA season. So the NBA, very well, the finals next year could be in July for next season. Very well, probably will be. So that could be going on. You'll have baseball going on. You'll have football right on the verge of starting up. And then the card market will be, everybody's going to be ready to go to shows again. There's no telling how big it could be. It'd be a lot of people there for sure. It'll be the John Holmes of Nationals for sure.
So this was talking about the prospects you were talking about there. Yes, I think it would.
Absolutely.
You look at you can look at Ronald Acuna from 2017. Like his cards that were in Bowman draft sell for about, I don't know, maybe 30% of what like his first Bowmans do.
Yep.
Like the color refractors and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Joe Adele's the same way. I think he's in a couple years. Yeah, it definitely waters everything down for sure. But I think you'll see them doing it with a bunch of autos. I think you'll see a lot more inserts in there, just anything they can to pack those big names in.
It's our buddy Eric, he's a big fan of the Ronald Acuna, the US 250 card. I think he calls that his third flagship card. So, and it's kind of the same principle that would go into like the draft that he's talking about there. It's when you already have like a regular Topps and then you have an update, and then it's just so much.
These guys are giving me a hard time about my John Holmes card show statement. I'm not gonna describe John Holmes. I'm just saying this could be a huge show. That's all I'm gonna say.
I would agree. It's gonna be. This is funny. It's gotten pretty crazy, Ed. It's gotten crazy. I mean, you got the 17 Prism Mahomes in a PSA 10 selling for about $3,000. You got guys that were selling for, $60, $70 a couple of months ago. They're like $400 or $500 now. Watson, Prescott, you know? Yeah.
It's gonna be a really long show.
It's gonna be a really long show. It's a good way to put it. What's up, Bart? Yeah, if the stuff we were talking about earlier about people returning cards and stuff, and particularly the 2020 project stuff, Bart I know did a video on that where he had a couple of BS returns on those where somebody case is scratched, or the box, there was a ding on the box or something that it came.
Oh yeah.
So unfortunately, scammers are going to scam, right? I mean, that's just
there's no stopping it. And there's I always tell people the one thing you can do is just you got to keep the money into your PayPal account for 90 days or something or whatever. It's a long time just to make sure you're clear. That's the main thing. It sucks.
It's been a little bit now, Scott, on the patty. Yeah, $3,000. It's pretty nuts. Like I bought mine, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 months ago, maybe a little bit longer ago.
Maybe longer than that.
But I was kind of worried that maybe I got in too late. I bought mine for $500, and because I know people that actually paid $30-$40 for theirs. So good for those guys.
I'll say McGuire.
Bart's looking to place a bet with somebody on that one.
Either that, or he's wanting looking to invest.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, Nats, man, but it's one of those loopholes in eBay's policy. They allow up to 90 days to return stuff, and when you have something that has such a volatile market like sports cards, I mean, that opens up all types of possibilities for returns, because I mean, I can promise you, like on those top 2020 cards, like if those cards would have gone up a couple $100, that scratch on the case wouldn't have been there.
It'd have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to return if the price goes up, but the price goes down, it's kind of like they're just free rolling on you.
It really makes it. I mean, it really makes it tough as even a collector. Like I don't sell a lot. I mainly sell stuff I don't want, so I can turn around and buy stuff I do want. And I just want to deal with good people who want the cards that I'm buying. I don't really get into the investor side of it, and so when you have to deal with that crap, it just sucks. I mean, it just drives you crazy.
Beautiful, Ed. Beautiful. I love it. Scott, that's ridiculous right there. Yeah. That's ridiculous. And you see stories about, like, back in 2013 when Prism came out, a lot of people sent the Giannis card. Like if somebody bought something from them, they would send the Giannis card as one of the cards that they put around the actual card to protect it. Can you imagine?
I remember busting retail of that at the time, and I can't remember ever having one, but I know I did because I had multiples of everybody, and I don't know what I did with them. I literally don't know what happened to them. I probably sold them in a big lot. I may have done the same thing. I may have shipped them as extra cards. I don't really even remember.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I know for a fact I pulled one because I was like, how in the world do you pronounce this guy's name?
Right.
And then I probably sold it for like $4 or $5,
I remember the biggest card I pulled out of there, you probably remember this too, was I pulled a red Target retail exclusive auto of Michael Carter Williams.
Yeah.
I think it was numbered to 20, if I remember right. I think I sold it at the time for like $600 or something. I mean, because I think he won Rookie of the Year that year or something.
Yeah.
And he was the best player kind of at the time. And I didn't care about Giannis or anybody else. It was Michael Carter Williams. That was the guy.
It can certainly go either way. You guys are making me sick here with all of these purchases.
Pretty good.
Look at this one here. 500 for 86 Fleer set.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive.
I'd say you came out okay on that one.
Did okay on that one.
Michael Carter Williams, what happened to him? It turns out he wasn't very good.
Turns out he just sucked.
I don't know what happened to him. He went away pretty quick.
I know. Yeah, very strange.
Wow. What is this here? I got 2 Cal Ripken Jr. Charlotte Oath cards since I was a kid at the game. Dad took it away and put up when Cal went to the majors.
Smart of him to do
Did your dad give it back?
Did he give them back?
Or he just took it away for good? Oh, man. More. Look at you guys. 130 for the Acuna bat down, came back at 10. 48 Mikan for free. You can't beat free.
No.
There's all these new investor channels out and stuff, and it's always funny. You can always tell when it's like one of the new ones because it's always. Let me see if I can find. Here's just a random card I have sitting here. Well, when you see a new investment channel, it's always going to have one of these thumbnails that's like this, like they're so ridiculous. And most of the ones I've seen anyway, the new ones, it's guys that have been collecting cards for like maybe a year or two. And
they don't know what a card is. They don't know the cards. They just know
all of a sudden they're the experts.
They're experts, yeah. Yeah, I know. For most people who actually enjoy the cards, they look at that stuff as ridiculous. It's just,
I was talking to like a few guys about this the other day. Like, there's so many of these new channels. They have this great looking thumbnail. They have this, real fancy intro and all that. And then you actually get to the content. It's just total crap. Like
garbage.
They don't even know what they're talking about. Like, not even a little bit. Like, it takes you like 30 seconds of watching it to be like, this guy, he either doesn't know what he's talking about at all, or he's just repeating what he's heard someone else say on a different channel. That's all there is to it.
That's what I see. And like I said, I see them a lot of times. Essentially, all the content is very similar, and it's by the best players from the best sports. From the most popular sports. Everybody, people know that. Like it's a big secret that LeBron and Jordan are guys you want to buy and collect. That people like. That stuff's so simple. I don't need anybody to tell me that.
Yeah, pay for advice. Yeah. A lot of these guys are just they're newcomers. They're making money because they'll have like a fancy channel, they'll have the fancy thumbnail, the fancy intro. So they'll get a lot of people that are watching their stuff because, hey, this guy's got all this fancy stuff. He must know what he's talking about, right? Not necessarily, but they end up making money off of, their YouTube channel. They'll have like the Discord chats and where they offer advice and stuff like that, just complete garbage stuff. And these are people that, they don't know. Like most people that have been in the hobby for a long time just kind of laugh at these people. Like, I can see like what Ed was saying. You just don't. There's no reason to pay for advice for that kind of stuff.
Please, dear God, don't pay for advice.
Are they going to offer you some kind of refund if their advice turns out to be crap?
No. Of course they're not.
They have. There's no real incentive for them to even be right. They don't have to be right.
Latrell Sprewell down at the bottom, he's got it figured out. Don't choke your coach and feed your family, and you'll be fine.
Solid. That's solid.
That's more life advice than collecting advice, but I like it.
I like it.
We don't know why either, but we like it.
Hey, I don't know. Yeah, I've heard Nolan Elite Code 3 say this before too. You know, be a wolf, not a lamb. That's pretty good advice. Everybody, yeah, everybody flexing on their buys. Yeah, no, they don't ever tell you about their bad buys though, do they?
No, never. No.
Not a lot of transparency, I wouldn't think, going on with some of these guys. All right, Bart's got a new Discord. 3 easy payments.
$99.99.
He's going to post at least once a month.
The big and the other thing too, when I see this stuff, and I always wonder who are the people that are buying this stuff. I guess it's new people coming in because experienced people, they're not buying that crap. I mean, and the other side of it too is how do they get repeat? You know, people coming back to them. I mean, I can't even imagine doing that. But hey, whatever.
This right here kind of nails it.
That's exactly right. That's a big part of it. They're pumping up what they are eventually planning on selling.
Like, you know, you have this big stack of whatever card it is. You're like, you tell all of your, you know, members, oh, go out and buy this card. And guess what? You end up buying it from them.
That's right. Yep.
You buy their cards. Oh, man, 50 Todd Min Popples and only one chipper.
I think you messed up.
Pretty much, Ed.
Yep.
Oh, so what have you got to finish up here, Michael? We got there's about 45 minutes until the big premiere of the documentary. So we'll try to get out of here and
need to get done here in a minute so I can fix me a sandwich and eat some dinner and get ready to watch. But not really much other than you know, I'm still picking up cool 90s baseball cards. I'm really enjoying kind of getting back into that. The prices it's about the only thing I can find I feel the prices are, you know, affordable on and you know, I'm having a good time really building up a strong collection again. And so thoroughly enjoyed that. I posted all my update videos recently and had a lot of people watch them. And then I've got probably 5 or 6 cards in since then. So I'll have another update video coming out soon. And that's really about all I'm doing. It's just enjoying buying No Mores and Rollins and a few other 90s players.
Yeah, I'll probably do like a somewhat of a mail day video sometime this week. I've got a couple of things that are going to be coming in probably Monday, Tuesday. I know that I got a couple of pretty nice things for sure that'll be coming in that I'm kind of excited to show people. And yeah, you know, I think all of us, you know, we've probably all had to adjust our collecting habits somewhat due to the prices. So
basketball almost exclusively. I really can't. I'm just priced out of basketball right now. I mean, I could definitely buy some of them, but are they good buys? And that's what I don't feel confident that they're good buys. And so it's easier just to move over to something that I feel it at least is a good value, you know, for what I'm buying. So I'd really do that and enjoy it a lot more.
That's part of the fun, I think, to me is, you know, just constantly evolving with, you know, you have to adjust to what's going on in the market. Like, you know, if you get priced out of something else, that doesn't mean that, you know, collecting is over for you. You just have to, you know, go to something different. I want to show this before we go here because I think Scott, he kind of nailed it right here, you know.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, I was going to say this too. This is exactly the kind of stuff that I've been seeing, you know. The stock arrows pointing up and they flock to it because, hey, if this guy can put a thumbnail with stock arrows on it, he must know what he's doing, right?
He's got to know what he's doing. You know, and anybody that's collecting that if in general, if you make, I say good buys, unless you're buying like some of these younger guys that are bigger risk, you know, prospect and things like that. If you just buy stuff you like and you watch the prices of a very specific range of things you enjoy, you're going to do fine. You're going to do fine because you're at the very least, you're not going to lose money. And that's important just to get into a, whatever, if you enjoy collecting a set from, whatever set it is, certain autograph set, if you know those prices of that set very, very well, and you don't overpay for any of them, you're going to be fine. If you just keep doing that with everything you do, you're going to be fine. You don't need somebody to tell you these things. You just don't.
Appreciate it, Spreewell. Yeah, so I guess we'll go ahead and close on that note. I hope everybody enjoys the documentary tonight. I know I'm looking forward to it. Should be a lot of fun to reminisce that 98 season. So everybody out there, I appreciate you guys joining on here with us and talking about the hobby and having a little fun. So we will catch you guys next time. So enjoy what's left of your life.
Thank you, guys.